This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 28th day of February in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The ExxonMobil company today gave all assurances that it has insurance coverage for all of its petroleum activities in Guyana. In a statement, the company's chief executive officer, Alastair Rutledge, responded to concerns about the company's oil spill insurance and whether it was adequate. The CEO explained that from the onset of its operations, systems were put in place in Guyana.
It's important to note from the onset that our first priority for every project is to put in place mitigations and processes that help to prevent adverse events by utilizing the best technologies, equipment and people in our operations. ExxonMobil maintains the industry's only sustained, dedicated and in-house oil spill response research program, which dates back to the 1970s. Here in Guyana, we adhere to an internationally accepted tiered response system used to determine the requirements of response personnel and equipment.
Mr. Rutledge said many of the statements in the public domain on full coverage insurance and guarantees inaccurately suggest that the ExxonMobil Guyana company will not be able to effectively manage response activities. It was explained that insurance is just one source of financial assurance that could be leveraged for response activities.
The value of insurance will not limit the company's ability to respond to an event, and response activities would certainly not be delayed by discussions with insurers. We have the financial capacity to meet our responsibilities for an adverse event, and we are committed to paying all legitimate costs in the unlikely event of an oil spill.
The CEO said Esso Exploration and Productions Guyana Limited, which is the operator of the Stabroek block, was established in 1998, and by the end of 2020, it had almost $5 billion in assets, which he said is a primary form of financial assurance.
We're working with the Environmental Protection Agency and our co-venturers to put in place a combined $2 billion of affiliate company guarantees, a value exceeding equivalent guarantees required by regulators in Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Contrary to claims in the media, ExxonMobil Guyana never agreed to insurance at a value of $2.5 billion with a previous EPA administration.
Mr. Rutledge said the Exxon company remains committed to Guyana for the long term, reminding that the company has already invested billions of dollars in multiple oil and gas projects in Guyana and is dedicated to avoiding any spill. The opposition recently tabled a motion in the National Assembly on the issue. The motion calls on the government to reverse its decision to terminate the process for obtaining unlimited liability coverage for the parent company for Exxon in its operations here. The motion has not come up as yet for discussion in the National Assembly. More news in a moment.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100 and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
Combo pack of we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you feeling. Ole cheesy, too much ripples and more. Combo pack of flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack of we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best.
Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack, now with a new look and new mix. Grab your pack today.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
Give me one dembe for my whole family. Their bread is tasty. Them
Baked with love and passion by our dedicated team of fine bakers, we give you dembe. With the same great quality you're used to, we now have a slightly new look. Here in Land of Canaan, we are ready to give you even more. Don't wait until you're hungry. Reach for a slice of dembe. Dembake, healthy, wholesome living.
In just 2 years, oil production earned Guyana a whopping $608 million. These funds are being used to build bridges, roads, and other infrastructure to improve the lives of all Guyanese.
People may forget the present you bought for them, but they'll never forget your scent. Find your signature fragrance at Elite Fragrances and Trade-In, located at 123 Regent Road Border between Ornock Street and Shiv Chandapal Drive. Call 619-5151 or 227-1255. Get a designer fragrance for yourself or loved one that they will never forget.
It's here. Introducing the MyGPL Customer Portal, a convenient way to access all your account information in one location. To sign up, it's easy. Simply go to https:/my.gplinc.com. After signing up, you will receive a confirmation email. Once logged in, view your postpaid account, monitor your consumption, view current charges and payment history, retrieve current and previous bills, and submit meter readings. MyGPL Customer Portal. Access to all your account information from your PC, tablet, or mobile phone at your convenience. Sign up today. For more information, contact our customer call center on 226-2600.
Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Delvac and all other mobile lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Welcome back. The policeman who was behind the steering wheel of that police vehicle, which was involved in a high-speed chase that ended in a fatal accident that claimed the lives of 2 youths, will face charges of causing death by dangerous driving. The Director of Public Prosecutions has advised that Police Officer Lawrence Carmichael face the charges for the 2nd of February accident which left Christopher Bangwandat and Sharita Prasad dead. The DPP has also asked for further investigations to be conducted in the matter and for the file to be returned for additional advice by the 7th of March. It is possible that the DPP is seeking to institute additional charges in the matter. The accident occurred in the vicinity of the Mahaica Bridge. During its initial report on the accident, the police claimed that the car, which was being driven by 21-year-old mechanic Christopher Bangwandat, had avoided a police roadblock and was pursued by a police patrol vehicle. During the chase, which was captured on surveillance video in the area, the 2 vehicles could be seen driving at a fast rate. As the car approached the Mahaica Bridge, eyewitnesses said the police vehicle increased its speed and might have jammed the back of the car, sending it into the path of a truck in the opposite lane. The police vehicle also slammed into the same truck. The 21-year-old mechanic and his 16-year-old girlfriend both died on the spot. There were other persons in at least one other vehicle who were hospitalized with serious injuries as a result of the multi-vehicular smash-up. Following the accident, family members of the 2 youths cried out for justice, saying that they are convinced that the police caused the accident and should face charges and be held accountable. The Guyana Police Force launched a full investigation and the findings were submitted to the DPP for advice. The Director of Public Prosecutions has indicated that the charge of causing death by dangerous driving is an indictable charge. President Irfan Ali has traveled to Belize along with other Caricom leaders to attend the 33rd Intersessional Meeting of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, Caricom. It is the first in-person meeting of Caricom leaders in almost 2 years. The meeting opens on Tuesday and will feature statements from Caricom Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett, the outgoing Chairman of Caricom, the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, as well as the incoming Chairman of Caricom, the Prime Minister of Belize. In a statement, the Office of the President said the Caricom leaders will deliberate on several matters, including the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the region, advancing the Caricom single market and the economy to help build a more resilient community, and advancing the Caricom Agri-Food Systems Agency, with emphasis on regional food and nutrition security. It is also expected that the leaders will engage the regional private sector, labor and civil society and discuss climate change action following last year's COP26 and security situation in the region. Well, as Guyana prepares to return to the International Court of Justice next month to file additional submissions in the border controversy case against Venezuela, Caricom has reaffirmed its commitment and support to Guyana and the protection of its sovereignty. During a press conference today ahead of the opening of the intersessional Caricom Heads of Government meeting, the Caricom Secretary General, Dr. Carla Barnett, said the Guyana case is being followed closely by Caricom. She said it is always an agenda item at the Caricom meetings.
There are two border issues in the region that are on the agenda for every heads meeting. One is the Guyana-Venezuela, and the other, of course, is the Belize-Guatemala. Those are issues that the heads follow very closely. Those are the issues which make the region stand strong on the matter of self-determination and territorial integrity. And that will not change. That has nothing to do with the position on Ukraine in terms of influencing any discussion of those issues. The issue with Ukraine, yes, follow those principles, but that's not at all a context within which the border issues within the Caricom region are going to be discussed. They are discussed at every single meeting.
Guyana is currently before the International Court of Justice seeking a final and binding judgment from the court that the 1899 arbitral award, which established the location of the land boundary between then British Guyana and Venezuela, remains valid and binding, and that Guyana's Essequibo region belongs to Guyana and not Venezuela. Venezuela has been fighting off the case before the ICJ and has not been participating in the matter, claiming that the court does not have jurisdiction. In a 2020 ruling, the court established that it does have jurisdiction to hear and determine the matter. The Guyana Defense Force has condemned and debunked a post on social media which alleged that the Venezuelan military was conducting operations in Guyana's territory. The GDF said the social media post is not true, and such reckless and irresponsible posts only serve to unnecessarily increase public tension and anxiety about Guyana's national defense and security. The Guyana Defense Force said it remains alert and vigilant on the country's borders along with its joint service partners. The GDF advised that all reports of any unusual activity be first verified before releasing such reports to the public as fact. The force also urged social media commentators and outlets to be ever cognizant of the environment and be mindful of the impact of the information they disseminate. Additionally, the public is further advised that such information can also be verified by checking publications of mainstream media entities. The statement from the GDF came in response to a post by a social media group on Facebook with several inaccurate and unsubstantiated statements about the security situation in the country. In the courts now, an 18-year-old man was today charged and remanded to jail over the attempted murder of a 15-year-old boy. The accused, Claudius James, appeared before the senior magistrate Shirley Isaacs Marcus and was not required to enter a plea to the charge. According to the case, it is alleged that on the 22nd of February at the Stabroek Market Square, James wounded the 15-year-old boy with the intent to murder him. Reports are that the two teens are known to each other and were involved in previous altercations. Last Tuesday, the two got into a fight, and it was during the fight that James allegedly armed himself with a sharp object and stabbed the 15-year-old repeatedly to the body. The youth fell to the ground with his injuries and was rushed to the hospital, where he remains hospitalized after a number of surgeries. The accused, Claudius James, was refused bail and remanded to prison until the 21st of March, when the matter will come up for hearing. The Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, is now claiming that many of the events hosted during the Mashumani observances were not given approval by the National COVID-19 Task Force. While he did not single out any specific events, most of the big events hosted during the Mashumani celebrations were co-sponsored and promoted by the Ministry of Culture, following meetings with the National Task Force. Questioned today about what appears to be a double standard by the authorities in shutting down some events while allowing others to continue, the Health Minister said most of the events were not granted any approval by the task force.
Any mass event would have to get the permission of the task force, and those rules are still operational. Unfortunately, I think some of the events that took place over the last week, I don't think they got the permission of the task force. So you need to check that.
There were concerns that many of the events were allowed to openly breach the COVID-19 regulations. In many instances, persons were seen not wearing face masks, and there was no physical distancing. However, some of the events required patrons to provide proof of vaccination against COVID-19.
We have rules. We have been articulating them, because for us, if we are going to bring down those numbers, the only way we can do that is all of us have to behave responsibly. And that responsible behavior means we got to use our masks, we have to keep distance, get vaccinated and things like that. That's very important. Outside of that, then if we don't do that, we can easily see an increase in cases.
The Minister of Health added that even with the rules in place, persons also have to play a greater role in taking care of their health and protecting themselves against COVID-19. Just after the Christmas holidays, Guyana saw its biggest surge in COVID-19 cases. The number of new cases has been on the decline over the past month, but health officials remain worried that with the large public events hosted recently, another wave of the new cases could be on the horizon.
Farfan & Mendes is committed to promoting development through quality, service, and integrity. Customers are guaranteed genuine products, reliability, and excellence in service. Their corporate head office at Providence affords you the added convenience of a spacious showroom with secured parking. Farfan & Mendes continues to offer their valued customers a wide range of genuine and affordable German-engineered equipment. They're leading the way in clean, green alternative energy solutions with industry-leading brands of solar equipment. So visit their showroom at Providence and enjoy efficient and courteous service. Farfan & Mendes, offering you solutions you can depend on.
You taste the cheese, you hear the crunch. Grab a zoomers and zoom into fun. And with the first taste, you feel like you don't want it done. Blast off to a whole new place with every single bite. The cheesy goodness bring your taste buds alive. So let's just zoom into fun with this wheel-shaped light. Zoomers, zoomers, zoom into fun.
This is Mocha.
Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc. Mobil Special and all other Mobil lubricants are distributed by Salt Guyana Inc.
We've got exciting news! All 12-ounce yellow cab Buster are now only $100. Buster, live in
Come
full
get
color.
your Buster, Buster $100. Come get your Buster, Buster $100.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has declined to condemn Russian President Vladimir Putin over his invasion of Ukraine, while departing from his government's official stance at the UN to say Brazil would remain neutral. Bolsonaro, a far-right populist, recently snapped the US entreaties not to visit Putin in Moscow ahead of the invasion, and angered Western allies by saying he was in solidarity with Russia without elaborating. On Friday, Brazil voted for a draft UN Security Council resolution that that would have denounced the Russian invasion of Ukraine despite reluctance by Bolsonaro. Russia vetoed the resolution. At a press conference, Bolsonaro said he spoke for 2 hours with Putin. In a subsequent statement, the country's foreign ministry said Bolsonaro did not speak with Putin on Sunday, but was instead referring to his conversation with the Russian leader in Moscow. Police in Mexico are investigating reports of a deadly attack on a wake in a town in western Michoacan state. Footage shared by local media appears to show armed men lining a group of mourners up against a wall and shooting at them execution style. Investigators from the prosecutor's office say that when they arrived at the scene, they found bullet casings and cleaning materials, but no bodies. A search for possible victims of the shooting is on the way. Forensic experts say the crime scene appeared to have just been cleaned before their arrival, but that bullet holes in 2 cars and a motorcycle and multiple bullet casings strewn across the road suggested that shooting had taken place. Local security officials told journalists that they feared as many as 17 people could have been killed, but the prosecutor's office has not yet confirmed any deaths. And finally tonight, international news. Dozens of people have been killed in Russian missile strikes in Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv. The attack came on the 5th day of the Russian invasion, as negotiators from both sides held talks in Belarus. Russia is attacking Ukraine on several fronts, but its advance has been slowed by Ukrainian resistance. Videos shared on social media showed rockets landing in Kharkiv in what some defense analysts described as typical of a cluster ammunition strike on a dense urban area. Russia has previously denied targeting residential areas. In other developments, Russia has more than doubled its interest rate to 20% in a bid to halt a slump in the value of its currency after the imposition of sanctions. And the UN General Assembly is holding a rare special session to discuss Russia's invasion, opening with a minute's silence for Ukraine. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.